Hello everyone and welcome to the UBports Q&A 143, the show discussing the development of Ubuntu Touch and the community's question. And tonight I'm alone, all by myself, but it will be fine. I hope you will have a good show. We are live on June the 22nd. Fine. Yeah, second day of summer 2024. Let's start with some news, and I hope you will be diligent with me if I'm all over the place because I'm trying to do a lot of stuff backstage. So for the news, I noticed a couple of improvements on the Xiaomi Poco X3. The first thing I noticed was the addition of wire grab, which is a good thing to have a VPN available for this phone. So that's a good thing, and also improvement on the fingerprint reader, I think. There also have been some infrastructure work behind the scene, and regarding last week. So last time, the last Q&A, we had Lionel talked about some improvement he made, and one of them, two of them were merged recently. So the first one is shifted events in the calendar when you added a calendar in a different time zone, and basically, if you put it around midnight and if it's in another time zone, it can be the next day or the previous day and not correct. So this fix has been merged recently. And also, Lionel also removed the default settings about auto capitalization, auto completion, and keyboard vibration. So all regarding the on-screen keyboard. Because those features are not quite on top. They are not perfect at the moment, and they generate more issues and they help users. Like with space removing and auto completion doesn't work really well. So for the moment, it will be better to just opt in if you really need this kind of feature. But by default, it will be turned off. Because I'm all alone, I won't talk about experiments too much because I don't have Alfred to talk about improvement he made or may have made on Mini, the web browser he's working on. And regarding my own experiments, it's slowing down a bit, but I hope to resume my work in the coming weeks. So hopefully next time I will have some news for regarding the UBports app. Let's head to the Open Store and see what's new. Spoiler alert, some, not a lot this time. So here, last time we talked about things that have been updated. Since then, the time series application have been updated. Oh, I have a guest. Marius is here.
Oh, sorry, I'm 4 minutes late, but surprise.
Yeah, that's great. So before I'm going further with the application, do you have some news on your side or some information you want to share?
Well, I've been actually slowly working a little bit more on both desktop and the conversions. So that has gone like general improvements. But also I am preparing, as I talked about last time, I'm actually preparing to publicly released now the VoLTE for Qualcomm.
Oh,
So that's getting closer. And uh, as I said last time, that I need to rewrite everything. So I'm pretty close to done with that. That's
that's a great news. Oh, sorry, I was muted. That's a great news.
yeah,
I think many people will be really interested to try it out.
yeah, and it's gonna be so good to also like be kind of done with that type, because that has been kind of a blocker for many years now, and even bigger blockers for some countries that has already shut down
Yeah,
completely 4G, no 3G and 2G.
yeah. So yeah, oh, that's great news and exciting also. I wish we can see a lot of that, a lot of tests happening, and
Yeah,
hopefully good news for our friends in the USA and Canada, and now in Europe also in some countries. So yeah, a lot of people started to get directly hit by the shortage of 2G, 3G.
yeah, and also it is better qualities on that overall, like calling quality and faster calling, and like calling now is pretty much instant, and the quality is much higher. So there is some other improvements too, other than just
Oh,
supporting it. So there is the only thing that's really negative about VoLTE is the standard is so not standard. It's so weird. It's yeah. For that reason, I don't really like VoLTE, but other than that, it's kind of nice that it's a normal HTTP stack, or well, UDP actually,
yeah.
TCP, one of those.
One of those.
Normal IP
Uh,
stack
I
inside.
will not correct you because I never remember the layer or the
Yeah,
stack that is used. So
I think it's actually UCP, because TCP is the one with error correcting, UDP is the one without error correcting, and I mm,
yeah,
actually,
for
yeah.
real time, it will be it has some sense. Yeah.
Uh,
So thank you. Great news. Let's resume about the applications that have been updated. So time series from Matthias Dalmans. Yeah, so small update. What do we see here? So base column can be scaled now. This is useful when converting units. Yeah, I believe you. And multiplication columns now work correctly. Multiplication columns. I don't know what it is, but that could be great. And yeah, so it helps you track some different numbers. If you iterate on things, that then you can record what happened. So if you want to track incomes or the weight of your meals, or even it could be power consumption or anything. So yeah, it's a quite useful app. Oh, okay. I thought that I lost my connection, but no, I'm still here.
it's just my cat's
Um,
tail.
we have also where where I can't pronounce it. I had it in mind. I tried to, um, but no, I'm not able to. Verwijs. Yes, that's. I think that's how Alfred pronounced it. So the traffic app for Netherlands, and they also have charging station, and also gas station and gas price, as you can see here on the screenshot. So yeah, quite a useful app for people visiting or living in Netherlands. And yeah, Sander told us that the app is compatible for other layouts, other regions. So if you have an API that you can plug to cover your countries, and sender is would be happy to merge this kind of information or to try to log it. So, Fairphone. The camera app also has been updated. I think it's mainly about translations, but I'm not sure. We don't see the change logs here. But if I remember correctly, it was something about change logs. Nimia app also, a Nimia client to connect to your Home Assistant thing. So that's
This
great.
one is cool.
Yeah. And updated translation and company name. Okay. So now the company name is Nimia GmbH Developer. Yeah. So officially supported. That's great. And we've seen this news also. I think it was on Telegram, if I'm not mistaken, about Nimia calling on their website iOS, Android, and Ubuntu Touch. Or I don't remember the order, but we were at the same level. So that was a great thing. So thank you, Nimia. And annotate also, the developer said that, Sampris, the developer said that they will update this app quite frequently, trying to push new feature as soon as possible. So I didn't try the last version because I was traveling for work. But I think the zooming, yeah, I had proper support for zooming. It was on the previous release that happened also in the last couple of weeks. So now when you zoom, you can still have the toolbar. I guess it's what it means. And that's a great feature because it's hard to use if you don't zoom in your document. If it's an A4 page or a US letter paper, then it's basically hard to see if you don't zoom, and then can access the thing to just draw on the screen or highlight some things or even erase what you draw. So, and it works really great. Still a web application for say, but really great, fast to use. So I dig it. So thank you, Sampris, for this great app. And that's it for so just 5 updated apps in the last couple of weeks. But sometimes we have a lot, sometimes we have less, but and sometimes also apps don't need to be updated because they just work the way we want it. So, next step will be to thank our sponsor, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. So I let you put on the banner because I don't know where it is.
I'm not logged in. So
you're not logged in. Okay, so I will have to seek for it.
It's on the side there. There should be a side.
Yeah, okay, I see it. So thank you, Smooth, Vola, Pine64, Private Internet Access, DigitalOcean, GitLab, Weinstein, OCA, Gartner and Associate Consulting Incorporated, Netlify, Cloudrun, Codelutin, Tixia, and Candy.net. Those are our, let's say, company sponsors. So, yeah, thank you for your support, and it helps us have everything around that, having good infrastructure. So, thank you very much. And for our patrons that are individuals, people, thank you to Asil, Asmund Kopeng, Boris Flowhouse, Daniel Franchak, David Seal, JT Brooks, Jose Angel Escura, Kenneth Drew, Linus Rune, Lothar Ketterer, Mike Adamitz, Marco A, Michael Kellner, Peter Mack, Philip Speicher, Rakesh PK, Robert Haley, Robin Hood, Rudy Arudi, Spendier Hose, Stefan Kalb, Stephen Granger, Sorolf San and Sabine Schwarzer, and Will Atwood. Thank you all for your contribution to the UBports Foundation. And if you want us to mispronounce your name, you can head to ubports.com/donates. And we have all sorts of means for you to donate. It can be via SEPA transfer in Europe. It can be via PayPal or even Patreons and other stuff, I think. So thanks everyone. It helps us do what we want to do and what we can do, and it helps us and Marius improve on VoLTE. So thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, the VoLTE has been a hard nut to crack, so
Yeah,
everything helps.
So first question from the forum was about sponsoring, I guess. So the first question was about what was my jacket, my hoodie that I had a couple of weeks ago. And it was a special one that I had from the UBports touchdown. So it's a gathering that the foundation allowed and made possible. So a gathering of contributors of Ubuntu Touch to help us get together, discuss, and try to improve the way the foundation works, the way development works, what are the topics we want to focus on. So it has been a good experience, and to thanks people, we had a special hoodie. So this one with the zipper is not for sale, but you can also have another one that is available on the shop, and it's at this URL, if I'm able to show it. Yeah, I did it. So if you go to ubports.com/en or maybe your language /shop, you will be able to purchase some merchandise from us. So we have some commission on the sale, so it will help us also. So yeah, that was the first question from Bolly. Next question from the forum is from the Deafened guy, and they ask, will there ever be a recycle bin implemented? Right now there is no recycle bin. And will Ubuntu Touch ever have the file system not read-only? So they say that they had to make apps into snaps as a workaround to make it work. And sadly, I don't think a recycle bin is on the development track, or I don't think we have it in the backlog. And I'm not sure it's a good idea. What is your opinion, Marius, on a recycle bin?
Yeah, it depends really. So I don't really have a good answer. I think it's more use case.
Yeah, for me, recycle bin was useful for hard drives, because you didn't write directly to the hard drive, so it was buffered and cached, and then at some point when you empty the bin, it was really erased on the disk. But now with the large volume of storage that we have and SSDs, I think it's Mm. But from a user perspective, I think it can be useful to have a. I can go back a bit and not erase this file. But is it a fringe case? Not
It,
sure.
it might also be better because I think most people these days will forget that a garbage bin even exists, and they will see that regardless of how much they delete, they the storage don't go they don't get back the storage, right? They don't clean
Yeah.
up. So I think it would be better to like prompt the user like, do you really want to delete this multiple times, like not multiple times, but really get that done, or have two buttons where you can have delete immediately or delete. I think Android does this where they have like a cache storage where it will be deleted automatically within 30 days or something.
Mm.
That also might be something.
Yeah. It might be interesting to go this way. And for the second one about the file system not being read only, I
Yeah, no.
think it will never happen.
So this we have been over. I think this is one of the most asked question about Ubuntu Touch, but the biggest reason for it being read-only file system is that mobile phones these days are getting really critical piece of hardware. It's not like a PC that if it breaks, it doesn't. It might stop you from working. Cat just leaped over my laptop. But yeah, like a laptop, it might stop you from working or gaming or whatever. But a phone these days, you have it with you all day. You are it's kind of mission critical in the sense that you need it for emergencies. You need it for doing your task day to day task, and for that matter, we can't really have a file system that can get corrupted or messed up by simply just installing applications or dev packages. So that's why it's read only file system that guarantees that the system will be the same across each channel, no update.
Yeah.
So if for example there's a stable update and that works on my phone, it will be exactly the same on your phone.
Yeah.
So that at least the base system is rock solid, and then we can have things on top of it with either Click, Snap, Flatpak, which is containerized, or even Docker for that matter, that runs on top of it. And that then in there, that doesn't really matter if it gets messed up. But as long as the root file system, you can still call with it and you can still do emergency things with your phone. I think that's, and also it's also a pity if you are in the middle of the train. For example, I use this analogy every time. If you are in the middle of a train and you want to do an update or install an application, and then you screw up your phone, you are without a phone because on a desktop you can go into recovery mode and fix it that way, but you can't do that on a phone. You need a laptop. And if you are on vacation, for example, and you're not going home in before like three weeks or something, and you need the ticket that you have on your phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It can be really complicated, and this is really the situations where a phone and a desktop really differs because yeah, on a as I said, on a desktop you have the keyboard, you can reboot into recovery and recover it, and also you don't go with your laptop to like carrying your laptop and scanning that at the airport, for example.
Yeah.
So that's they have different use cases and different level of criticality. Of course, if you are home all the time, it doesn't matter. But then you can also just remount your file system. If you want to live dangerously, you can do that.
That's it. Because it's still open source, it's still Linux. Then you
One
just
command.
you can do it. You can, but we won't take this responsibility to just let you do this if you don't know what you do.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
yeah.
if you want to do it, there's just one command away. It's not hard to do. It's not something. It's not like completely blocked, like on Android or iOS, for example. You can still do it whenever you want. You
Yeah.
can do it in the middle of the road if you really want to do it. But the reason why we are not delivering updates like that or doing a default is because phones are really really critical these days. And
Yeah, and we want also the features that we provide to be stable in time. So that's also why those new versions take so long to come to you. It's because we want the user to have a good experience with this new version and not experience something like beta testing or even alpha testing. If you want this kind of experience, you can go to the Devil channel and you will have that. And for Noble, we'll talk about this a bit later, I think, but yeah, it's also another kind of issue because at the moment there is no system image. You have to compile it.
yeah, and I think also one thing that if you really want to test out and experience the unstableness, you can install unstable, but be aware that it can break at any time. That there is no like guarantee of it, because of course we are not trying to break it and we are trying our best to not break it. But with software development, something will break.
Yeah,
It always will break.
Even with the test in place and all the CIs, and error happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, in Devil, be prepared to just plug it to your laptop and use the installer to just push it again.
Can I take a quick question here?
Yeah.
It's not a. It's has anyone successfully developed a Flutter application for Ubuntu Touch and published? I haven't published, but I have successfully tried to get Flutter to work natively on Ubuntu Touch, and it works. It needs a little bit work, but it uses the glib engine and Wayland, and yeah, it works. But it one of the biggest problems is that most application detects thinks that it runs on the desktop because it's using the desktop like if run on Linux, then show desktop mode. So that's kind of more of a bigger problem than actually getting the Flutter application to run. But if you design it that way, it can be convergent. But most applications that I have tried is not convergent at all.
Yeah, and it's not trivial to make an app convergent, but you have really to think about it. But Ubuntu Touch provides the tools to do it correctly, so that's a great thing. And I'm guilty of that, only considering the phone and not tablet or desktop. But yeah, it will come. I will try to improve.
Something we could do, or like maybe propose to the Flutter developers, is that we have another flag like Linux Mobile or something. That could be an option, or even instead of having platform specific, maybe we can have like form factor specific. Maybe we can try to get that work with the. Well, I know Canonical also is working with them, so maybe we can do something together with Canonical to get like a flag in or something. If you don't, it's only an enum somewhere that needs to be set. So
yeah. Oh yeah, that would be great. Let's go to the next question. This is from Ecos that asks, is there a way to get if the screen is active in a shell script or something similar? I was thinking to set the CPU governor to power save to reduce battery drain while idle. So very technical question about, yeah, so to help save battery with, yeah, so basically trying to have a background service, I guess. I don't think we have a way to know if the screen is active or not.
yes, we do.
We do? In the shell?
Yes. So we have a dbus call that fires from RePowerd and the Lumiri system compositor,
Okay.
that tells the user if it even tells if the user is interacting. Um, so what we have something called boosters where they ramp up the CPU frequencies when the user
Yeah.
is touching the screen. Um, so we are more going that route of default low ramp up if use.
Yeah.
Um, so it always tries to use bare minimum amount of CPU at all time, except for when user is interacting with the phone.
And it also relates with another question about, oh, yeah, it slipped my mind. Uh, but it was something about RePowerd, I think, but I'm not sure. Okay, here it will go back to me later. So yeah, so that's a great thing that we do have that. And yeah, so battery power management is really important. RePowerd. I think we had a question about RePowerd, so we will come to that later, I think. We have another question about Flutter from LGA. Since Flutter makes it possible to create Linux. Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. Makes it is possible to create. Is it a question? To create Linux apps from the for desktops, and that we sometimes need an external app for specific purpose. Will it be possible to make a Flutter app that is compatible with UBports in mobile mode, eventually as a progressive web app, and in desktop mode? If not, what are the obstacles to make it work? Is it purely something that would be on Flutter team side to work on, or could someone axe it with custom-made plugins? So, you're muted, Marius.
Sorry, I'm switching between Chrome and Firefox here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is possible to make, as I said before, to make Flutter application work on Ubuntu Touch. But also, as I said, the problem is really trying to making conversions and having a way to tell if it runs on a desktop, phone, clock, whatever. I think that's probably something we can do. Even we can publish a pub.dev package. Pub.dev is the repository for libraries and stuff that made for Flutter. Um,
And
so
about the question about the custom-made plugin to
yeah,
allow for both mode, mobile and desktop.
yeah, it would be really cool to get it in. I know that the Flutter team has been shaved down in size, so I'm not sure how much time they have to help out on this, but of course we can try. There is, of course, something we can do. It's just to open a bug report and see what response we get. We might get a positive response for that matter. And since they already have a lot of iOS and Android code in there, and a lot of those are in Flutter too, so they are not native code. So there's a lot of things we probably can reuse. And I think, for example, if I'm not mistaken, the material design that's in there is already kind of responsive because of the desktop mode that they're trying to achieve on Android, and also to make them run on Chromebooks. So it needs a little bit more investigation. I haven't really dug that deep into this yet. I just, yeah, as as Christian says, it is fully responsive. So that's something we can do, but we need a way for it to detect if it runs on what hardware it runs on,
Yeah.
what type of hardware.
So yeah, you're welcome to try as usual, and yeah, it could be a great thing, a great addition to the toolbox already available for Ubuntu Touch.
I have to say, Flutter is it's really cool. Like I was a little bit skeptical about it in beginning, but when I try it, it's such a pleasure to work with, and it's so fast.
Yeah. Okay.
So I
I
enjoy.
don't know anything about Flutter.
Yeah, it's a bit it's weird when you first get into it because a new language, a new method of doing things, and but it's kind of a blend between JavaScript, uh, blend with high performance, with some React, with it with Angular. It's like a lot of things mixed together, and that's what the result is, and it's really cool.
Okay. The next question is from Canada that is asking, can you say something about the Voya Quintus or Quintus, or I don't know. I learned about it with your question, Canada, so I can't personally. Marius, did you hear something about Vola and this new device, this new phone?
This is the first time I heard about it.
Yeah, so I did just a quick search on the internet and I found the project page on, I think it's a, yeah, a collaborative funding, crowdfunding page, but that's the only thing I've seen. And so it's hard to say. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, that they mention explicitly Ubuntu Touch, but given the relationship we have with them, we might be able to have the device and try to port for it. So fingers crossed. And as some people in the forum said, hopefully it will be a better device given all the superlative used in the page. So let's wait and see. Also, question from the forum is from Jacek. They say, hi, in some recent Q&A, there was a mention about Focal working on Fairphone 2. I've checked OTA updates on the phone. They are on release candidates, but there's no update to Focal. When is it planned to roll out? Thanks. I don't know about the Fairphone 2.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think someone was working on it. I also remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention. Sorry for that.
Yeah, no, I don't remember at this point.
No.
I will try to see if I can figure it out real quick.
Yeah. In the meantime, I will start with the question about, the other question about RePowerd. So it's from Igne, or Igne. Could you explain some of the planned RePowerd changes, especially those that deal with CPU freq? It sounds like a cool concept, but where do we configure this for devices, and what else might touch CPU frequency? Settings, Android init script, vendor specific stuff, question mark. So, if I remember, it was Alfred mentioning a modification in RePowerd, but the goal is what you explained earlier, Marius, is that the default is on lower setting, only one CPU. Or if I remember correctly, Alfred said 4 cores for the Pixel 3a by default, and up to the 8 when you need some more power. So it's also device specific because some devices we don't know how to run on, let's say, 1 core if you want to be really power saving. So
there's also different types of CPU cores. We have low cores and high cores. and the low cores usually is the one that default on all the time, and then you have the high performance cores which ramped up when you interact with the phone. Those low cores are really really power efficient, but of course they are slower, but they are really power efficient, and that's something we also need to really utilize, and we do that, and I think that's something Alfred does on his ports, and also the Fairphone 4 is doing that. So this is the low high CPU architecture. I think that's probably what's, well, it is the future, and I think that's something we should really embrace, because it's a genius idea to have to just shut down the big cores and run
Yeah.
the low cores.
And so, yeah, the takeaway is that it's device specific, probably also vendor specific, I guess.
Yeah,
About Android in its strips, I don't know, but
it's mostly vendor specific, because what Qualcomm and MediaTek use the same. Well, they use each different type of system, but the system that they create works on pretty much all the Qualcomm devices, and the one that MediaTek works on pretty much all the MediaTek
yeah,
devices.
of
So
course.
it's not fully device specific, but some random manufacturer might do some weirdness here and there. So
Yeah, it will be device specific if you step a generation of CPU or GPU or integrated chip system on the chip SoC. So yeah, if they bump from generations, if they have a generational leap, then it can be not only the vendor specific, but device specific. But yeah, most of the time they try to stick with something that is working. Okay. Next question is from Axis. Just did you find out about the Fairphone 2, or did you stop looking
no,
for?
I'm continuing it now. I was a little
Okay.
bit distracted.
Let's continue about question from Yuxis that says I'm using Ubuntu Touch daily, but there's a whole world that do not know about this system. Is there some plan to propagate more to the system, like conferences, PR articles to some bigger tech IT web, collaboration with software companies that already have desktop apps? Basically, the answer is yes. yes, and yes. And to clarify the answer, the foundation goal is to promote and spread Ubuntu Touch, also help organize the community, because Ubuntu Touch is not a product, it's a community effort. It's an open source project, so it's mainly done by volunteers. The foundation receives sponsorship that helps with infrastructure. Oh, that's a hard word to say. So yeah, basically we need to have storage. We need to have cloud storage also to organize things, documents. We have to maintain the website. We have the forums. We have the shop also. All of this cost money. All the CI and everything costs money. So the sponsors helps us with servers, with services, or with donation. Also, sponsors like Vola bring devices and help us also port to these devices. So, and also, they can bring money to the table. They provide devices to developers that can help bring UBports to Ubuntu Touch, to those devices. So, yeah, the foundation is the legal entity that is able to go find those sponsorship. and hopefully we can make new connections. We can spread the word. We also try to go to different convention or conferences. So yeah, sometimes UBports is invited, and it's not just the foundation and but it's also the foundation can say, okay, we will ask for volunteers to go there and help out. So yeah, basically the foundation goal is to allow everything to work fine for this. So all the elements of your questions are supported by the foundation and the different sponsors for the foundation. So we are doing it. Maybe not enough. We would love to do more, but we need also volunteers. We need members. There has been a lot of calls for membership in February and March before the election of the board of directors and the membership committee. Those elections have been done, so we now have a new board of directors, and you have 2 members here. And also, but we still need members because the members are the operational force. The board of directors are just for paperwork and regulation things. The chairman is able to sign contracts with sponsors, but to give ideas, to propose new thing, how to use the money, this all comes to members. And to be a member of the UBports Foundation, it doesn't cost money. You just have to be a contributor of Ubuntu Touch. You can contribute by code, by giving time to help spread the word about Ubuntu Touch, to just make some lobbying in your local area, help translating, help newcomers on the forum and on Telegram. So basically, everyone that gives some time to help the goal of the foundation and to help promote Ubuntu Touch is welcome to be a member. So you can send an email to, I think it's membership@ubports.com. Yeah. You will be officially a member after a review and on the next quarter. So for the second quarter, it's already too late. But if you send your candidacy now, you will be an official member in September. But even if you're not an official member, your voice will be heard and you will be able to participate with the monthly meeting and stuff. So please, if you are not already a member and you're a contributor, please send your membership because we need more voice to be heard, so we have more ideas and we can drive it to the right direction or another direction because we are a community and we are strong together, and the more the merrier.
All the directions.
All the directions. We want everything.
Yeah. Take over the world.
Yeah. The sky is the limit, or
Yeah.
even the stars and beyond.
It's kind of what the first bug report on Ubuntu is, which is world domination. That's the bug number 1 on Launchpad.
Yeah, it's already the case for Linux. Last question from the forum is from Alagirialagiri. They ask when 2004 Focal OTA 5 will be released. So what is the status of 2404? Yes, it's 04 novel. As of now, few devices are in 2004 devel only. Yes, I think so. Any chance of a stable release in the near future? Uh, yeah, maybe we can take them one at a time. So about OTA 5, I don't know if it's ready, but it will be soon, I think.
Yeah, it's
Do you
getting
have more
close.
news? Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't been that active in the release schedule these days. I've been having a lot on my plates. I have been only doing since I'm not hired by the foundation anymore. I get of course much less time. So most of my time now these days are mostly on VoLTE and cracking that nut. So I don't
mm,
have the insights on this directly. But last time I saw, we are getting really close, and I
yeah,
know John is working hard on getting Noble up and running and getting Noble into a usable state, and at least get.
yeah. So Noble maybe in a few months, let's say maybe end of the year, and for the next OTA 5, if we have to guess, maybe in July,
Yeah,
somewhere,
something like that.
end of July. Yeah,
And also the question about devices only in 24/4, if they
no,
are,
in Devil only.
yeah, if they are community maintained, that 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 it's a little bit up to the maintainer if they want to move it into that. But for our devices, they, or the one that's managed by the core developers, those will like they will move it into stable once they are stable enough. I think that's the 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 best question for that. And it's not really a timeline for it. It's more of a
A feature complete
yeah,
aspect.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
when it's ready, basically,
yeah,
because it's really hard to estimate these times kind of things, and especially with open source development and hardware, because hardware is really unpredictable and you don't really know what when it will work,
yeah.
especially reverse engineering. It's kind of working in a black box.
Yeah. Yeah, and okay. Also, most of the conversation are for developers and porters in teleports. Is there a channel for ordinary users who do not know the technicalities of operating systems and its nuances? Please also list all the channels in teleports with respect to Ubuntu Touch. I didn't do my homework because the question was a bit late and I was not home. So I don't have the full list of all the channels, but the main channel is at UBports, if I'm not mistaken, and
Yeah,
it's for everyone. So the main one is at UBports. It's in English only. There are also channels for your language. So I don't have the list of language that are
I
currently
have
supported.
some.
Yeah,
So we have the quality assurance. That one is it is kind of technical, but it's not technical in that sense. It's for testing. Um, and then we have, as you said, the U reports. We have one that's called the U reports overflow, which is off topic, where we can discuss everything. What other do we have here? We have the U reports welcome and installer help,
yeah,
which is a helping channel. We also have a bunch um, of language-based ones where they are based on different language community. Like for example, I'm a member of the UB for Scandinavia, but that's because I am from Scandinavia. Um, and that's the ones that I have. We also have UBports UX and graphics, which is for user interface and graphics. There's one for infrastructure if someone is interested in that. There's also one for Germany. There's Ubuntu test for Jinkpad, for example, that is specific for that device. There's a lot of different. There's also UBports and Raspberry Pi. These are the ones that I am part of. I am
mhm.
100% sure there's more than that.
Yeah, there is also, I don't remember if you already mentioned it, but we have also the UBports writer ops for people helping with
Yeah.
documentation. So it can be user-based documentation like tutorials. So it can be everything. Or it can be also technical documentation that is very helpful because we need it.
Yeah.
And the last part of the question is about also a blog may be presented regarding Lomery Desktop OS. I think it's lomery.com that is covering these aspects, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for the forums question. I didn't have a look in the chat for a question, live question. Do you see one that you want to answer?
So this one about color management, I assume that's for like, you mean for shifting colors in the compositor, and also for like red shift or something like that. And currently we don't have support for that. And for display, yeah, we don't really have support for that yet. I think that's more of a more specific for X11, and I don't think Mir support it. If Mir supports it, then we support it. But it's for color correctness. Honestly, I don't know. We might have, but that's if it is in Mir or not.
So yeah, and Maciek says that hardware would have to support that also. So
Yeah, that's true.
VoLTE, we already talked about it.
Yeah, I can't see much questions that we have here. We mostly have.
Yeah. This one is easy to answer. Yes. Ubuntu Touch is still using clicks.
But you can use snaps because
But
Alfred had
you
made.
can use snaps. Yeah. So snaps is another way to have applications on Ubuntu Touch, but the default is still clicks. This is the one that can be accessed through the open store. And yeah, if someday we will have maybe snaps in the open store, I don't know how it can work, but maybe. But for the moment, it's just, yeah, you have both ways, and you can do either one or the other. DPKG works, but it's still a hack. It's still not the supported way. It is the supported way for only a couple of core applications, let's call them that. But most of the core application we want to have as click because it's better. At least we can manage the access rights and everything, and we don't have to. We can update them between OTAs, which is not the case for dead packages. Due to yes, the read-only file system. Do we have something else?
I see. Have you ever thought about making a crypto mining rig to earn crypto for UTP? I don't think you make much money there anymore. You need to buy the rig, and I'm not sure if you will get return of investment.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
It's
A bit risky.
and I think the foundation is not able to do it also.
Yeah,
because
it's
it will be making money with nothing. It's not in the how it's called, in the status of the foundation.
It's really really hard to do it. I remember when way back when we got bitcoins, the bank really complained about it, and it was a mess to file taxes for, and it was really a pain. They have made it so hard to work with crypto these days, so it's especially in Europe, so that's really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry if we missed the question, but there's a lot of chat on the chat. And we reached the hour, so maybe we can call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was a good one.
Yeah. Thank you, Marius, for joining me.
Yeah.
I was a
Sorry,
bit scared to have to take it all by myself, because I don't have the same knowledge as you or Alfred. So thank you very much for joining.
Yeah, I'm really sorry I was a little bit late, but I was it's the what's they call it when the sun
Oh, equinox, or no, it's not the equinox, it's the other way around. It's the
yeah,
longest one. Yeah.
in Norway we make fire and drink alcohol, but I don't drink alcohol, so I just made fire.
Yeah, and yeah, for us it was yesterday. We celebrated mostly on the 21st of June.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, actually, in Norway we do it on 23rd, but they did it today because
it's a Saturday. It's
Saturday,
easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
So apparently the sun is changing directions on different times in different countries, which makes no sense, but
maybe. Yeah, time zones. It's complicated.
yeah, a time zone is a mess.
Yeah.
If you ever get into programming, never touch time zones. Let someone else do it.
Yeah, but it already changed the format for time zones.
Yeah.
I think it's done now on Ubuntu Touch.
Yeah.
Going to the next format, the new one.
The 64-bit time.
Yeah.
But that's only for the Unix timestamp. But converting to a human readable one, that's when the problem comes.
No, human readable is awful.
Yeah. Everyone should just learn the Unix timestamp.
Yeah.
What date is it? It's 1,624.
It's like the star date in Star Trek.
Yeah, it started. True that.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining
Thank you,
us today. Thank you, Marius, again, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. And until then, enjoy. And yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.